everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here. Today's build really needs no introduction. The Vengeance was my first build on this channel, and the Vengeance Mk2 is still my most popular ship build. The one thing that I had said in that build that I wish I could do was customize the Habs. Well, with the latest update in Starfield, it lets us do just that, so I figured it was time to redesign the ship. So here it is, the Vengeance Mk3. This build updates the classic design of my Vengeance build, but adds a few notable features to it. First off, we used all empty Habs so that we can customize the layout exactly how we want. We also changed out the docker to a side docker. This removes that half ladder in our previous build, so our ship is finally ladder free. We also increased the mobility, improved the weapon layout, and added some shielded cargo and a scan jammer, just in case you wanted to do some smuggling. This ship has it all. Now, this is still a Class C ship, so you will need your piloting skill at rank 4 and your starship design skill at rank 4, and be at least level 60 to access all the parts. I also recommend increasing your particle beam weapon skill, your shield skill, your cargo skill, and your starship command skill up as high as you can go to get the most out of the ship. Now that you know a little bit about the ship, let's start the build. We're starting off at New Atlantis. We're going to be visiting a few places to get all the parts we need. We'll be heading to New Homestead, Neon, and the Red Mile before finishing our build at our outpost. On New Atlantis, head over to the ship vendor and let's get a ship to build off of. Ask to see what he has for sale, and choose the least expensive ship on the list, which is usually the Rambler. Once we have our ship, let's head to our next destination. We are heading to the Sol system, over to New Homestead on Titan. Once on the ground, head over to the ship technician and ask to view and modify your ship. We need a couple pieces from here. We're going to need our Cabot C4 Bridge, and we're going to need 8 NG20 landing gears in the wide variant. So let's purchase those. Once we have all the pieces we need, let's fit them on our ship. Now that the ship is flyable, we can exit the builder and head to our next destination. Our next stop is in the Volai system, and we're heading to Volai Alpha and landing on Neon. Once in the city, turn left and head over to the Stroud Eklund showroom. Once inside, head to the panel on the wall and choose to view and modify your ships. We're going to need a few things from here. I'll put the list on screen. Pause the video here and let's get shopping. Now that we have our pieces, let's fit those on the ship. Once our ship is flyable, exit the builder, and we're heading to our next stop. We're heading over to the Porima system, and we're looking for Porima 3. On that planet, we're landing at the Red Mile. Once on the ground, head inside the building in front of you. Head up the stairs and into the ship technician's office. Talk to the technician and ask to view and modify your ships. We just need one thing from here, and that's our scan jammer. This little piece of tech gives us a chance to avoid scan detection when carrying contraband. There are 3 versions of this device. We want the multi-frequency version. Once we have that, fit it on your ship. If you don't have a spot for it, you can just buy an equipment plate to mount it onto. Now let's exit the builder and head to our final destination. Our last spot we're heading to is our outpost. I have my outpost in the Schrodinger system, on Schrodinger 3. So let's head there now. Once on the ground, head to the top of the stairs of your landing pad. And interact with the terminal at the top. Select the option to view and modify your ships. Now I'm going to put the rest of the parts list on screen. Pause the video here and purchase the rest of your parts. Now you have all your parts, you can see your layout here. Make sure you've pulled all the parts that we purchased at the other stops off your ship and delete the rest. You're not going to need it. Pause the video here and double check that you have everything. Now before we assemble the ship, let's review some of the techniques we will be using during the building of our ship. This build uses 2 different glitch techniques to attach parts. The first I've reviewed in other videos before, and you should be familiar with it by now. It is the flip glitch trick. You can take a flippable piece and blend it in with another by hitting the flip option and then hitting cancel. This will blend the 2 pieces together. This also works on Habs by selecting the next variation and then the previous one instead of flipping the piece. A new technique we'll be using for this build is a duplication glitch. This is the first time we'll be using this for my builds, so let's review how to do this. This glitch is similar to the flip glitch, but you use the duplicate piece function, which is Ctrl-G on PC and LB plus X on Xbox. We're going to use this for our engines, so let's use that as an example. This trick is actually pretty simple. You need a piece that can be duplicated and an open hook point. You see here we have our engine and an open hook point above it. Simply hover over the piece and duplicate it. The duplicate piece will snap to the nearest open hook point above or below the piece. You notice though, that even though we would not normally be able to fit this engine here, it's green. Just hit accept and the pieces blend together. Now that we've reviewed those techniques, let's assemble our ship. We're going to start with our landing bay. Let's move that over to the open space. Next, take your workshop and connect the left lower hook point to the landing bay. Now take 2 porthole tops and bring those over. These are going to go on top of our workshop. These are used to block off the spawn points of any ladders to the next level. Next, grab your bridge and bring that over. Attach the bottom center hook point of the bridge to the front hook point of the workshop. Next, take your engineering bay and bring that over. This is going to attach right above the workshop hab. This will not normally fit in, so we're going to need to use our flip glitch trick to make it fit in by selecting the next variant and the previous variant, then hitting cancel. Now that the top hab is in place, we can finish with our hab layout. Take one of the 1x1 storerooms and attach that to one of the top side hook points of the engineering bay. Now take the other one and attach that to the other side of the engineering bay. Let's move the ship down and give us a little bit more room to work with. Next, take the living quarters and attach the bottom right hook point to the rear hook point of the left side 1x1. Now take the battle station and place that in a similar position on the other side of the ship. Lastly, let's take the mess hall hab, and that will attach on the back of the ship in the center. This completes our hab layout. With the new empty hab modules, all the connection points between the habs form doors. So this will actually make a complete loop through the habs. Next thing we need to do is add some portholes to the top of the 1x1 habs. Let's start with the porthole 4s. These are going to go on the front of our 1x1 habs. Next, take 2 porthole sides and attach these to the sides of the 1x1 habs. Now, having these in place will actually remove the junk from the interior of the hab, making it easier to decorate later. Next, let's fill that center hole in the ship. Start with the fuel tank. Let's place that in the open area in the center of the ship. Next, take the grav drive and place that right behind the fuel tank. The top of the drive should be even with the top of the hab layout. Lastly, let's place our reactor. This is going to go on the center hook point on the back of the ship. Again, the top of the reactor should be even with the top of the habs. Let's grab our ship docker and bring that over. This is going to go on the starboard side of the ship, just behind the 2x2 living quarters. Next, we're going to need to fill in some of the empty space a little bit. Take a Stroud mid bracer and place that just behind the ship docker. Next, take 2 more mid bracers and place those on the other side of the ship behind the 2x2 battle stations. Now, you could use habs in place of these mid bracers if you want. This will give you another 15 hull strength, but you also have a different pathing through your ship. I wanted to keep this as efficient as possible with the hab layout, so I used the bracers. Next, we're going to fill in the bottom of our ship. We're going to start with our landing gears. Select your NG20s and bring that over to the ship. We're going to start by placing 3 across the back of the ship. Next, place 2 more on each side vertically, making a U shape along the bottom of the ship. The last one will go just in front of the fuel tank behind the workshop hab. Now while we're down here, let's place our shielded cargo holds. These will go on either side of the grav drive. The slope of the cargo hold should be facing away from the drive. Next, we're going to place our 2 remaining landing gears. These are going to go on the back corner of our ship, with the slim side facing the outside of the ship. Do the same on the other side, making sure you flip the piece so the slim side is facing the outside. Now we're going to fill in the side of the ship. We're going to start with one of our cowling pieces. This will go behind the landing gear, with the slim side facing out, following the shape of the landing gear. Next, take a cargo bay, flip it, and place that next to the cowling piece. And finally, we'll place another cowling piece on the other side of the cargo bay. Now we're going to repeat that on the other side of the ship, following the same pattern. Cowling piece, followed by a cargo hold, followed by another cowling piece. Now let's work on the front of the ship. Bring over 2 cargo holds. These are going to go right behind our landing bay. Make sure you flip them so the flat side is up and the slim side is facing the outside. Now, on the other side, we need to first place a cowling piece in the same spot our landing bay is on the other side of the ship. Make sure you flip it once so the slim side is facing out. Now we're going to take our 2 remaining cargo holds and place those behind the cowling pieces, mirroring the shape on the other side of the ship. Next, we're going to take a cowling piece and place that on top of the ship, just behind the cockpit. Now take another cowling piece, and this is going to go in the open space in front of our 1x1. You'll need to use the flip glitch to fit it in place. Let's do the same on the other side of the ship. Now we're going to place our top portholes just to finish off the front of the ship. Take 3 of them and place them in a line on top of our engineering bay. The last 2 are going to go on top of our 1x1 habs. Next thing we need to do is build up the top structure of our ship. Take a cowling piece and place that on the rear top hook point just to the right of the reactor. Take another cowling piece, flip it so it's facing the opposite way, and place that on the other side just to the left of the reactor. Next, take your shield generator and place that in front of the cowling on the right. Now take another cowling piece, and this is going to go in the same spot as we just put our shield. Use the flip glitch to put the piece in place. This will hide our shield generator from view. . Now take that last cowling piece and place that on the other side facing the opposite way. Next, take a Cap A piece and place that in front of the cowling on the right hand side. Take another Cap A, flip it so it's facing the opposite way, and place that on the left side. Now take your nose Cap B and place that in between the two Cap A pieces we just placed. Finally, take two of the mid bracers and combine them together and place those just behind the nose Cap B piece we just placed. Now do not use Habs in place of these mid bracers. Doing so will actually create a ladder in your mess hall hab, which we don't want. Now let's place our scan jammer. This is going to go right on our Cap B piece in the middle. Now that the top's all done, let's place our engines. This is going to be weird, but let's start by deleting 4 of the engines. Don't worry, we're going to get these back. Take the 2 remaining engines and place those on either side of the reactor. The top of the engines should be even with the top of the reactor. Now we're going to use our duplication glitch to attach 2 more engines. Highlight the engine and use the duplicate command. You will see the engine appears and attaches to the hook point just above the other engine. Once it's there and it's green, select accept and place it. Do the same on the other engine. Now we can duplicate the last 2 engines and move them next to our bottom engines. We now have 6 engines, with 2 glitched together to form an extra long shaped engine. While we're back here, we might as well finish up the back of the ship. Bring over a Tayo cowling. Change the variant so it's facing backwards, and place that right above the grav drive. Let's go back and finish up the shape of the ship. Take a Cap A piece and flip it so it's facing upside down. Put that on the front bottom open hook point of our ship. Next, take another Cap A piece, and this will go above the piece we just placed. You're going to need to use the flip glitch to put the piece in place. Let's repeat that on the other side of the ship. Now we're going to place these last 2 Hope Cap mid pieces. These are going to go on the open spaces on the bottom of our ship. We use these as they have a nice flat profile on the bottom. Now let's place those last 2 portholes. These are going to go on the rear side hook points of our 2x2 Habs. These give those Habs a little bit more of an open feel to them. Last thing we need to place is our weapons. We're going to start with the PBOs. Attach those to our horizon weapon mounts. And make sure you flip one of the weapon mounts before you place the weapons. These are going to attach to the front side hook points just in front of those portholes we just placed. Next, let's attach the equipment plates so we can finish attaching the weapons. We're we're going to attach 3 on each side of the ship. 1 on the front hook point, just above the weapon mounts, and the other 2 are going to go on the back 2 hook points. Next, grab 4 obliterators and bring those over to the ship. Two are going to attach to the front weapon plates. The other 2 are going to attach to the Cap A pieces on the top of the ship. Now grab your 4 auto turrets and bring those over. These are going to attach to the other equipment plates we just placed. I put 2 facing forward and 2 facing backwards. You can orient them however you wish. The last 2 obliterators are going to go under the ship on the front lower Cap A pieces. Unfortunately, they won't initially fit, as the cowling pieces are in the way slightly. So here's what we're going to do. Start by sliding that front cowling piece out. Then place your obliterator where you want it. And now slide the cowling piece back and use the flip glitch to fit the piece back in place. Now let's do the same on the other side of the ship. And now our ship is constructed, but we still need to assign our weapons. I recommend putting the PBOs on the W0 spot, the obliterators on the W1 spot, and the auto turrets on the W2 spot. Now let's rename our ship. And finally, we're going to change out that factory color. I'm going to go with a white and purple motif on this one. And now that our ship is assembled, we can see the stats before skill and crew bonuses apply. And here are the stats after those bonuses apply. Now let's go take a tour of our new ship. Here we have a good look at our ship on the ground. You can see it's a long ship, covering the length of the entire large landing pad. Now, we did use empty Habs for this, and I already decorated the ship off camera. With this tour, you'll see what I did for the interior. What's nice is with the blank Habs, you can make this ship whatever you want. You don't have to follow my layout. Now, if you do want access to all the decorations you see in this walkthrough, make sure you rank up your outpost engineering skill to at least rank 3 and complete all the decoration research projects at your research terminal. Now we enter our ship at our armory and workshop. I put some branding right as you walk in the ship, and you can see we have a full armory on display. And we have our workshop in the back. It's a little tight in here, but everything is accessible. Right through the door, we have our bounty board. And up the stairs, we have our cockpit. I left the cockpit as it is, as I thought it didn't need any extra decorations in here. Now through this door, I set myself up a little art gallery. I thought the long length of the engineering bay suited this type of design. I have art on the walls with statues lining in between them. Taking a right, we go into one of our 1x1s, and I just have some plants up against the wall to liven this up. And here's Sam and Sarah again. These two are inseparable. Through this door, I set up a computer command area. This is where the crew can work and operate the ship from. I also put some extra storage in this room. Each one of these crates holds 150 units of storage, and there are 48 crates in this area, which gives me an extra 7,200 units of storage. What's better is this nearly doubles my storage capacity of this ship without adding any extra mass. Through the door over here is my captain's office. This was originally the kitchen in the mess hall. I think it just makes a perfect office here. Through the side door, I made a little bedroom. It's a little small, but it gets the job done. I kind of like that there's a shelf in here so that I can display my coffee mug collection. Back out and through the door, we have our dining area. We have a small food area off to the side with some drink fountains and a fridge. Our dining area is set up to house the whole crew, and we have a separate captain's table on the side. Through the door over here, we have our ship docker. And you just know we had to put in some shameless self-promotion on the ship. Through this door and around the corner, we have our crew lounge area. We have a couch set up with a nice TV and a cute view out the window. Another coffee and beverage area. And we have some game tables set up to pass the time, along with plenty of TVs, kind of like a sports bar. Through here, we just have some random items on a shelf. I couldn't really think of anything to do with this hallway. Through this door, we have another 1x1 hab, and we're back out to our gallery. Now, what's nice about the empty habs is that we can finally create circular paths throughout our ship. The downside is you really have to watch where you place habs now, as you can create some odd paths, or habs that actually have 3 passageways on one wall. And that's the end of our video. Please hit like and subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. I'm Team Scorpio, and I'll see you in the next video.
Time to greet the stars.